Hi everyone, and welcome to the Chat and Vibe series for the Vitality Festival, which is starting on the 31st of October, not long to go now. And we've got 9 incredible days of world-class leading speakers in the health and well-being sector. Everything is for free. It's our way of showing our thanks and gratitude to frontline workers and to anybody who needs a little bit of inspiration and motivation to bring them out of the COVID cocoon. And one of the amazing presenters that we have is Katie Underwood. Katie, thanks for being here today.
Hi, Tanya. Thanks for having me.
No worries. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be doing what you're doing now.
Sure. Look, I've done a lot of things in my 44 years of life. So I suppose I spent the first half of my career in music. I've been a recording artist and performer for over 35 years. So I have a really strong foundation in music. But the wellness aspect of that shifted 10 years ago. I was just before I became a parent. I decided to move into the wellness space. I felt that the commercial music industry was not aligned with where my values were heading. My meditation practice was increasing. My health choices were improving, and none of that was in alignment with the world that I was working in. So I took a big leap out of that world and into the wellness world. So I then started my training. So I started with training in remedial and relaxation massage, trained in Reiki, and I was happily working one-on-one with people for many years with a specific interest around drug and alcohol recovery, because that was part of my past that resonated strongly with me, and I wanted to support people in that. And from there, it evolved over the last 10 years to then include training as a meditation teacher and then also skilling in sound healing. So although I'd been working with music for 2 decades, working with music in a way that was much more supportive and nurturing and directive around helping people into a healing space or into a relaxation or meditative space was something I was really vitally interested in. So that was a really exciting shift for me, where I was able to take all of the knowledge and talent and experience I had in the music world, but infuse it through this beautiful healing filter that is sound healing and sound therapy. So now if people ask me, what I do and what I'm about, first and foremost, I'm a mother to twin girls, but after that, I'm a meditation teacher, a sound healer, and a massage therapist. So at the moment, I have offerings online, but I'm really looking forward to getting to working one-on-one with people again. And I infuse those 3 modalities together, which I really enjoy.
Oh, sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how does this healing aspect and sound, how does that work?
How is it healing? How is sound healing? Yeah. So there's a number of different ways we can look at how sound can support someone's healing. So music therapy itself, coming from the medical model, is something that's been around for decades. And there's been numerous studies to show how music can support people through emotional rehabilitation, physical rehabilitation. So there's a number of different ways we can incorporate sound in our lives and in our practice or in our activity to help essentially boost the immune system, to calm the mental processes, to soothe and heal emotional processes, and generally relax and engage the body in a positive way. So the way that I use sound is mostly that the person is receiving the sound and I'm producing it. So in that way, in my sound healing events, I use a number of different instruments that are soothing in their nature. So for instance, these beautiful purple bowls you can see that are lit, they're my crystal bowls, which create quite a soothing, higher frequency sound. The Tibetan bowls are very grounding, very earthing, and they create a lower frequency sound. So different frequencies will work with different parts of the body, both physically and energetically, to calm, relax, and heal. So that's the way that sound can directly affect you in the way that you receive it. There are other ways that we use sound to calm the mind and therefore soothe the body. So anything that relaxes the body enables it to move into its own state of increased self-healing. So often when we're talking about how is sound healing, it's not necessarily, oh, this specific frequency will heal you. It's that the combination of allowing these sounds into your awareness will help you move into a more relaxed state, which then helps support your body's natural healing. So it's definitely a complementary therapy. It should not be used as a replacement for other types of therapies or healings, but it's an excellent complementary therapy that people can use to help them feel good emotionally and physically. The other way that I've started to use sound with great effect is in the way that I'm leading my meditations. So there's lots of different ways that people might choose to meditate, but one of the ways that I've become really active in my personal and professional realm is using mantra meditation. So I found this sort of brings in a new interplay where I'm encouraging people to actually make sounds in their own body. So it's no longer just a passive experience, but a really active experience. So people can actually create those sounds and they can feel those vibrations in their own bodies. And again, the vibrations themselves can help to soothe and center the body. But more than that, it really helps people come into a state of calm, a state of present moment awareness. And in that state, they're in a much better position to release themselves from any future anxious worries or past-based, stress-based thinking. So you can see now there's lots of different pieces in play when we're talking about sound healing. It's not just dinging a bowl and expecting, you know, some great healing to occur, but there's a number of different ways we can incorporate sound, meditation, mantra, and music to support your own relaxation or healing experience. And of course, the results are going to vary hugely from person to person, depending on what is going on for you. And I find that people have profoundly different responses to my sound healing journeys from week to week. You know, same person, similar sounds, although my sounds are always unique because I channel directly. But it's amazing what different results people can have. So it never ceases to surprise and delight me, the possibilities that are available when people are really open to this kind of therapy.
Oh, I love it. And I think music has been a part of all of our lives for so long. You know, you look back to all the old ancient cultures and music was a huge part of that. And I know even now, you know, people seek out music. And, you know, you were talking about this alignment before, and we seek out music that's in alignment with how we want to feel and sometimes with how we feel. So we really use music to either lift our vibration or lower our vibration. And it's just so powerful. And I think it's natural for anyone. You know, you see a baby, you put music on and the baby starts sort of wobbling their head. It's really incredible the way it works with people, isn't it?
It is. It's an international language. You know, the wonderful thing about music is you don't need to know anything about it to have a positive or emotionally releasing experience from it. As you music can either make you feel energized, it can relax you, it might make you feel joyful, it might help you release some painful emotions. Powerful, really helpful. But the great thing is you don't need to know anything going in. It's so intuitive, it's so ancient, and it does tie us into this feeling of community, you know, particularly when you start to introduce things like African drumming. The moment you start with a drumming sound, people, no matter where they're from, no matter what country they're from, no matter what language they speak, it takes them back to this feeling of, I'm a part of a community. I'm a part of a tribe. I'm a part of, you know, these people's lives in this room or online, you know, and I found the sense of community that we've created in the online space this year is incredible and really surprising. It really took me by surprise how much people have felt that connection just as strongly as if they were sitting in a room with me, which is what we used to do. So yeah, the possibilities are endless, I think.
I love that ability to connect through sound. And, you know, with your amazing presentation or workshop that you'll be taking, you know, that ability for people to still be online, virtually in their own places, but yet be able to feel that they're part of a group is so important in these times, because a lot of people are feeling quite separate from each other, you know?
No, that's right. And interestingly, the thing I used to find is a lot of the people that would seek out my regular events where I would run over 2 hours, we would do a combination of guided meditations and then a sound journey and then some mantra or sound vocalizing at the end. often people who are experiencing anxiety, depression, PTSD are the very people who so desperately need to be there and yet are unable to leave their houses on an emotional level. And I had many people come to events and then not be able to stay. And the wonderful thing about being in the online space now is these people can stay in their homes. They can be in their safe space and yet still be fully engaged with what's going on, just as if we were in the room together. So I see now the benefit to that for all of those people who are literally just unable to get in the door with me in person, but are so keen to be involved in this sort of event.
I love that. And I love what you mentioned before as well, that through the sound, it also helps to boost your immune system, which is so important for everybody at the moment, because we all need to keep strong and resilient in order to, you know, fight off the COVID. And I think, you know, if we're healthy, then we don't need to worry about getting sick. So I just, you know, it's great for people to be able to get involved and be boosting their immune system at the same time.
No, exactly. And obviously there's going to be so many things happening over the whole Vitality Festival, you know, physical movement, guided workshops, sound healings, and all the rest of it. So anything that helps people feel better emotionally, feel better physically, or feel calmer or more at ease mentally is going to allow your natural immune system, your natural stress relief, your natural relaxation response to kick in. And this is all going to be helpful on any or all of those levels. So, you know, I always encourage people to seek out. Sound healing might not be for everyone, but seek out what works for you and go with it because it's going to help.
Oh, I love that. And tell me, for people who haven't done any sound work before or sound therapy, do they need to have experience to be involved in your workshop? Do they sit up, stand up, lie down? Tell us a little bit about what people can expect if they're wanting to come to your workshop.
Sure. So once we're able to do physical workshops again, no, you don't need any experience. People can enjoy the sessions either seated or lying down. So often people will want to lie down for the longer sound journey, particularly if you're new to meditation. You might find it easier to move into a relaxed state by lying down. So that would involve bringing a yoga mat, a pillow and a blanket, or whatever you feel comfortable. But often I have either older people or people with physical injuries who it's not comfortable to sit down, to lie down on the floor for extended periods. And then, of course, you're more than welcome to just sit in a chair. As with any meditation practice, seated, lying down, as long as you're well supported and you're comfortable, it's really a personal choice as to how you engage. With respect to the online events, the only thing I would recommend, and this I guess applies to the whole festival, is ideally make sure that you've either got some good quality headphones connected directly to the broadcast, and that the device you're using to broadcast on has the strongest signal you can get. So when we're talking about speaking workshops, you know, if you miss a word here or there, it's not so much an issue. But with the sorts of frequencies that I'm working with, and by that I mean really low sounds to really high sounds and everything in between. If you have a signal, you know, internet-wise that's buffering or struggling, it can be really frustrating, and that kind of defeats the purpose of trying to tune in and relax. So that would be my best suggestion if you've never tuned into a live sound healing session before. Either use your headphones, try and make sure that your signal is as strong as it can be, or if you want to listen with someone else, then use a speaker to transmit the sound. Because quite literally, if the only device you're using is this big, you will only hear half the sound. Literally, the phones just can't process more than that. So it's coming in fully from my end, but at the other end, if you only have a tiny device, you just won't pick up the full breadth of the sound. Doesn't mean that you won't enjoy it, but I know that you'll enjoy it a lot more if it's coming through a speaker or headphones. So that's probably the most practical suggestion I'd have. But other than that, you know, just arrive, give yourself permission to take the space. I think one of the challenges in being involved in festivals online is that we can get easily distracted by the people in our house. Our children, our partners, our pets can easily sort of throw us off our game. So I think it's important to honour your decision when you're attending any event online, to really give yourself permission to take that half an hour, to take that hour, to communicate with your partner, your kids, your housemates. You know what, guys, I'm going to be in my space for an hour. Please don't disturb me. You know, I'm taking some time out for me. And in expressing that, or even if it's just to yourself, I think is really an important first step. Just as important as if we were doing a physical event, and then the moment you walk in the door, you go, oh, I'm here. I've arrived. I can relax now. So I want to, you know, encourage people to take that same step in their own space. Maybe it means you light a candle or some incense. Maybe it means you have a special cushion that you sit on, or maybe it means you're just in your bed, in your cozy space, in your safe space, wherever that is. But really choosing to be there. It sounds obvious, but it's not always followed through. So that would be my best suggestion, I think, for people in the meantime.
Great, thank you. And I agree, you know, it's difficult. We've all got kids and dogs and everything running around, and sometimes even the postman dinging at the door these days. And so it is, it's a great way to be able to just sort of set that aside of time. But just so you know, that if you have registered for the Vitality Festival, at the end you'll get a link accessing you to all of the sessions throughout the 9 days. So you'll be able to listen to Katie's session time and time again, which is absolutely, I'm looking forward to that. I've done one of Katie's sessions before and they're absolutely outstanding. It's a real treat. So thank you. And thank you, Katie, for being a part of the Vitality Festival. We're so excited that you're part of our little community that's helping to support everybody and to really show them a way out and to give them some inspiration and some ideas in terms of how they can move forward. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I look forward to all seeing you on the sound journey on the night. Thanks.
Thank you.